shadow of the 41, who will face the Reaper?
I'm gonna go think about it. Typical.
Okay. Wait, why are we transitioning? We didn't establish anything about the characters or the plot or the stakes, so where are we going?
What? What the hell? My name is just Dream. Companions, help! Oh, us now? We'll help you. Yeah, you know what? Never mind, guys. If he doesn't kill me, this confusion will. Now, it wasn't that confusing. That, my friends, is why you don't publish first drafts. Hey, Writing and Skoolie Gang. I'm here to talk to you today about a critically important part of the writing process that I haven't touched upon much before. Some people even go as far as to say that most of writing happens during this step, editing. But before we dig into that, I want to make sure all of my awesome subscribers and followers know about this pretty amazing opportunity that's available to you right now. My first course, which I took a month off from making videos to make, is now finally available. It's called The Basics of Plotting a Novel, and it's an intensive walkthrough of how to plan your first book, starting with picking your genre and ending with a comprehensive sequence of events, or a basic outline for your plot. If you complete this course and the activities, you can literally go from having no idea what you want to write about to having a well-constructed, concrete plot outline. The price is a steal at $75 for over an hour of instruction along with transcripts and worksheets, but right now, there's an even more incredible opportunity to get the course completely for free. All you have to do to enter the raffle to win the course is visit the link in the description that says free course raffle link and submit your email address to my email list. That's it, and you're in the raffle. Your email goes in a hat. Those of you that don't follow me on Instagram, you should, Justin Addis Writing. I'm adding names to the hat on live, and then I'll be doing the drawing of 3 names that are going to win my course for free live on Instagram. Or you could visit one of the other links in my bio to just purchase the course if you don't feel like waiting for the raffle drawing, or you just want to give me a huge vote of support. Now, let's crack into what we're talking about in this week's video. It's something that happens long after the process of plotting is done. Matter of fact, it can't really happen until you've written all or some of your story. Your writer's Jumpstart Kit this week is focused on editing. It's chock full of great tips for new writers or writers that are just looking to up their editing game, which really should be all of us. Keep these 4 simple tips in mind as you revise what you write and take your second, third, or final draft to the next level and save some time. Editing tip number 1, just accept it. That's right, gang. The first tip on my list and the first step of editing is the same as admitting you have an addiction. Acceptance. You have to enter a clear agreement with yourself when you start writing a long-term project that when you're done, you will go back and reread the whole thing at least once. It is necessary. If you don't, you run the risk of publishing something that's the quality of what we saw in the intro. What? What the hell? Just outright confusing, full of plot holes, and overall, not your best quality. That's not to say your writing has poor quality. The example that I used in the intro was drawn from something I wrote when I was pretty young, and it was a really extreme example of how bad a first draft can be. But here's the bottom line. No matter what stage of writer you are, if you just write something out straight through and then click publish or send it out, it's most likely going to be mediocre compared to the greatness you're capable of producing. It's fairly common that writers don't think up the best way to communicate a scene or a setting on their first go around. After all, by the time you're ready to edit, you've seen almost every aspect of your book come to life. You know how it ends, and you know every heartbreak and comeuppance along the way. Simply having this knowledge gives you the ability to plan awesome foreshadowing, or set up a character even better for the redemption that you know they have later. Think of your book like a jigsaw puzzle. The more complete a picture you have, the more clear it is which pieces are still missing. Don't settle for an incomplete puzzle anymore. After you're done with your first draft, reread your work and add or remove whatever it needs to turn it into a masterpiece. Editing tip number 2. Keep moving forward. This tip has to do with editing style, and so it may be a point of contention for some. But in my humble opinion and experience as a writer, editing as you go is a tool to be used in moderation. That is to say, keep doing it to a minimum. Editing as you go is exactly what it sounds like, sweeping for spelling mistakes and word choices as you're writing. It can be an open invitation for some great imagery and dialogue. There are moments when I'm writing and I type something and I say out loud to myself, wait, and then I switch that character's line for something way more dramatic and impactful. Editing as you go can work that way. But that only happens to me maybe once every page, which is, for me, between 500 and 1,000 words. Editing as you go can be a huge problem if your best friend's name is backspace. If you're deleting as much as you're writing, or even half as much as you're writing, you're probably never going to finish your story. Doing a full book edit after you're done writing is different, but nobody writes first draft one word at a time, not even a sentence at a time. You have to think in terms of at least paragraphs, if not pages or chapters. You have to keep that flow moving. If you allow yourself to tweak minimal details while you're still writing, you'll never get on that coveted roll, and you may actually end up with a Hollywood depiction of writer's block, where you're just hovering over the keys, looking for the right word before you can possibly continue. You may have heard the phrase before, writers write, and it's true. If all you do is edit, you'll never really write. Save the close look at every sentence for when you go back and reread your draft after it's done, because you've already accepted that you'll have to do that. Remember? For now, just keep moving. I mean, imagine if you did this with other things in your life. How ridiculous it would look. Gotta start off the day with a hearty breakfast. Corn flakes or corn bran? No. Who could this be? Hello? Special Agent Deuce McGulliver? Yeah, speaking. What can I do for you, boss? I'm the president of the Reform Syndicate of Yugoslavia. I'm calling on behalf of your organization, which has gone under. Listen to me, McGulliver. Helion has the bomb. I can take care of that. You don't understand. They're opening fire on your position. Just as soon as I figure out what I'm having for breakfast. Damn it! Editing tip 3. Know when to add and when to wait. It depends on the writer, which they'll find harder. Technical editing or editing their story and narrative. We're going to talk about the latter. Many writers, myself included sometimes, are plagued by this looming cloud made up of what-ifs. And done. Good scene. Huh? What? What if I didn't make it clear enough? Convey it as clearly as it is in the What if people don't find my characters likable? No! You make work of bearing your soul for others to judge, like painting or making movies or writing books. It happens. The cloud of doubt is going to catch up to you one time or another. In terms of writing your first draft, it can make things pretty confusing. Do you add that extra scene expanding the lore, or is it too much? Do you write that campfire-style bonding session between two characters, or will it come off as obvious and forced? What do you do? Let me tell you, if you're thinking about writing in some unplanned scenes into your novel as you're going along, ask yourself these questions to help decide if you should. First, is it essential to the plot? If the answer is no, you might still want to add the scene in, and that's okay. But asking yourself this question will knock out a surprising amount of really kind of ancillary details, like a splash of cold water on the idea. Then, follow-up question, ask yourself, can this information be conveyed in an organic way in the story without having to change anything else? If the answer is yes, go ahead and add that scene in. If your answer is no, you can't add this detail in organically without changing other things, don't write it yet. Make a note that this idea came into your head for a scene or a location, and then keep moving forward. Wait until you finish the rest of the book and you've come back around to edit it. Look back at that note. See if it makes sense to add it in. If you feel like that now that your book is more complete, it still needs that addition. If so, you're gonna have to tweak some other details to fit it in, but at least then you'll know it's necessary. If you decide that your story is not missing anything, you just saved yourself a buttload of work writing this whole scene that would have been extra fluff anyway. Here's an example of what I mean. Say you have two characters stuck in a time-sensitive situation. The idea visits you suddenly to write a scene that alludes to them having a past together. but they're racing the clock, so it doesn't really fit organically. Wait, don't write the scene, make a note of it, keep going in your first draft. Then, when you cycle back around to edit the whole story, you have a more complete picture of your narrative. You'll know if it seems like something is missing between those characters, like some information that you feel was really important to the plot is missing. And you're gonna have to tweak some other details, maybe the nature of their time-sensitive situation, or have them unveil their story past somewhere else. The system is a win-win for everybody. But Justin, I hear you cry out, what about the cloud of doubt? Will it really get us, no matter what? Here, let me teach you how to deal with the cloud. And there we go. What if it sits on paper everywhere? Not this time. Bitch. That's how you deal with the cloud. It will catch up to you every once in a while because it's part of you. Let it in. Suck it down. Chase it with something strong. Then, once you understand that doubt will always be a part of your writing journey, no matter how far you go, you keep moving forward. You write anyway. There's no such thing as bravery without something to stand up against, even if that's yourself. Editing tip 4. Invite eyes besides your own. This is the scariest part of writing for some people.
Sharing.
It sounds silly because this is the ultimate goal of writing, right? It's to have other people read your work. Here's the thing though, when most uninitiated people picture sharing their writing, they picture someone, somewhere, taking it off a bookshelf and reading it. Fortunately, that could not be farther from the truth. A book needs to be read by quite a few people before it ever sees shelves, or before you click publish. After the writer's own eyes look the whole work over for a second time, it pass to beta readers, people who are going to give you their first impression of your manuscript. Their feedback is instrumental in editing. If 2 or 3 of them comment on the same character having a confusing voice or the same scene falling flat, you have some tweaking to do. Inviting the eyes of others fleshes out details about your book that are literally invisible to you as the writer. You look at and deal with your story so much that eventually you become desensitized to your own writing style and tone. You can easily miss things that stick out to others about your word choice or pacing. It happens to everybody. Newbies and bestsellers. I mean, it's not like you've never read a really popular book and found yourself saying, man, this part is dragging. If you were one of that author's beta readers, you could have told him or her that. Here's the thing about beta readers. They have to be people you trust to give you honest, constructive feedback. No inarticulate consumers or nervous yes men. Hey, I just finished my manuscript and I was wondering if you'd give it a read for me. Yeah. Really? Thanks. Yep. Yeah, it's good. Yep. Huh. Alright. Man, can't believe my book's been adapted for an indie film festival. This can be. But then that would mean you're my uncle. Actually, Dream, thanks to the Reaper's curse, this green jacket is your uncle. Oh my, yeah. Help me, Dream. You let me publish this? Yeah. Don't end up living your own personal, unintentional horror movie. However much it scares you at the time, it'll save you a ton of terror down the line. Just ask that brutally honest friend to be a beta reader, trust me. And once your beta readers are done, yes, your book should be seen by a professional editor. Is it frightening? Yes. Is it expensive? Sometimes. But editors are professionals. Not many of us are qualified to run the plumbing lines in our own houses. Hire a professional. Give your creative brainchild the same treatment. Run it by a professional editor before you send it off or click publish. There you have it, writers, new and growing. A quick 4-tip Jumpstart Kit for editing. Make sure you do it for your own sake and the sake of your readers. Make sure you control how much you edit as you go. Keep moving forward. When it comes to your plot, know when to thicken the mix and wait till the recipe's done. You can always add some extra toppings if it turns out you need them. Also, make sure your eyes aren't the only to peruse your manuscript. That manuscript should visit a few brutal beta readers and a professional editor on its way to shelves, physical or digital. Thanks for watching, guys. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. I'm working on a weird schedule with my wife and the quarantine deal right now, so my videos of the week will be coming out on days pretty randomly, so keep an eye out for them. You can also support me by subscribing to my website, which is also how you enter the raffle for my free course, or becoming a patron. The links for all of that stuff are in the description of this video below. Make sure you enter the raffle to win that course for free. The course is absolutely jam-packed with helpful information, activities, examples, and a structured, foolproof system to help you construct the plot of your first novel. Now introducing the newest member of our furry family, Marvella. She's a 4.5-year-old pit bull dachshund mix, and she is wonderful, crazy, but we really love her. She's getting along very well with everybody, and she wanted to help me sign off for you guys this week. So, Roadside Writer, out.